Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once you have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, let's have a a law update. It's not directly regards to the immigration law, but to the education sector. Now, it's I didn't thought about too much about this piece of legislation, but after reading it, I thought, well, it's a sign. It's a sign that shows the potential default of education institutions are coming up. So as you have clicked into the thumbnail, the thumbnail may mean something to you already. As I said, with all the ghost colleges hunting for the past 12 months plus, it actually, we've seen how they the new the priority, Directive 107, direction number 107, and the genuine student tests, and they are changing the risk level of different institutions. Now they put on cap on international students. Obviously, that will cause chaos. Now, apart from the public university that we have known that there are 45 of them, there are about 4,000 private institutions, 3,900 something private institution that delivers, well, they're supposedly delivering the so-called the vet courses. That's all the trades courses like cookery, mechanics, and all the kind of stuff, and plus also the 80 course, the English language providers. Now they all suffers. Why? Because they also jacked up the student visa costs from used to be about $700. That was a lot, because I still recall 10 years ago it was only $300. Now it's $1,600. Now no one's gonna come and study English and pay this visa fees for $1,600, right? Anyway, that will contribute to the potential collapse and bankrupt or shutting down of a lot of private institutions. So it's a sign, because we are actually seeing this on the 1st of October. Now, well, this is the briefing, but the detail of the law is pretty dry and boring. I don't want to go to the actual, see that piece of legislation. It was actually dated back last week, but it's currently enforced. It's the first day of October. It says education service and overseas student calculation of refund. Now, when do you require the refund? Obviously, it's either the goods or services is not doesn't deliver, then obviously you need you want to get a refund. So they put it in the law to enforce a potential whatever things happened. So obviously refund from who? So payer must be students, right? The customers, and the refunder must be the education institutions. When are they required by law to refund? That's basically what this law is all about. But what does it tell us? That means a lot of shit's gonna happen. A lot of shit's happened, so the education provider, by law, well, if they don't refund, obviously that's against the law and they will be penalized. So this will contribute a more of, I don't know, I don't want to say this, but it's a killing spree for the international education sector, especially for the private education sector, where all those vet courses providers, it's just not the good thing. But again, I'm here to provide this information for you to actually digest and know what's actually happening. So let's go into the briefing rather than go into the boring law by itself. So the briefing actually says this. Let me have a read it. It says, Education Service of Overseas Students Calculation Refund Instrument 2024 outline the procedure calculation refund of unspent unspent. Now, how do you define unspent? So the actual law does have those calculations. So if we scroll down, it says weekly. What is a weekly, and how do you see that function? Okay, so that's how they calculate whatever the fee that should be. So they actually define how you calculate the fee and how they define unspent tuition fees under this piece of legislation. This instrument provides a clarity of refund process in case of education provider or student do not fulfill their obligation. Obviously student. Now, how was student not fulfill their obligation? Well, they pay and they did not go. Well, that's their problem, isn't it? So I'm not too sure if you pay a tuition fee and if you don't go, can you get a refund? That's just awkward. I mean, that's a waste of resources, isn't it? But anyhow, they have actually. But I think the true intention of this instrument is actually telling us that there's gonna be numbers of private institutions that are gonna go under, right? All right. Okay. So let's have a look at the key detail here. The provider default. Well, here we go. Provider means the education providers. That's the schools. If the education provider fails to commence or complete a course, the instrument set out how to calculate a refund based on the unspent portion of the tuition fees. Now I'm going to talk about this. Now, if they go under, that means they don't have money anymore and they already shut down. How are they gonna? Well, I think what they're doing here by law. Even if they collapse, okay, they went busted, okay, by law they are still required to calculate how much they still owe to the customers. However, I don't think the customer or the student will actually get the money back if they go default, right? Anyway, and student go default. Now that's strange. That means student doesn't even go to school. In the instance where student go default, withdraw without complaint return agreement, that means they just go away. They just went off. The refunds calculated according to the prescribed method. That's awkward. I mean, how can you do that? I mean, you committed to come to school and you're the one didn't come to school and the school still need to refund? That just doesn't make any sense. Now, visa refusal, well, obviously that means they didn't get a visa. The guidelines specify the method to calculate refund of a student visa application is refused. So the updated instrument replaced 2014 version. So there was something back then. I think they just make it more, will clarify some of the ambiguity there. Back in the 2014's version, ensuring refund calculation are fair. Well, who knows? I mean, how can this be fair? Now, first of all, let me have a little talk. Now, if the provider goes in default, that means they're busted, okay? That means they don't have money anymore. Now, how are you gonna track them down? And they could just declare, under admin, external administration or bankruptcy and things like that. And even if you go through the procedures and calculate, probably going back to the creditors. That means the investors or owner of the business to actually get the money. But that is going to be a lengthy court procedures, jurisdictional, civil procedure, not jurisdictional, civil procedures. That's going to take a while. Okay. And until the end, probably you still get nothing back because in fact the provider went default. That means they're busted, they're gone, they shut down, they don't have anything anymore. How do you get the money back? So why on earth do we need to still calculate all these things? I don't know. And the other thing is student goes default. That doesn't make any sense. If you pay the money, you want to come to course and you just did not come without any written agreement, that's what it says, and the school still required to refund the student. That's not fair, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know how this actually will work, but from what it says, it just doesn't make any sense. Anyhow, I think the main thing that we should get here is that due to all the changes of law impacting international education sector, the risk level of countries, providers, general student test, direction number 107, cap on international student, increase of student visa fees. Now, what that all contribute and what we have seen today is that there will be I don't know, there has been 150 so-called ghost colleges have been called, but I think and I suspect there's going to be hundreds and hundreds more. These private institutions will actually go under. That means default, that means bankrupt, and that means external admin, that means no money to give out. So again, the message here is during this period of time, it's going to go for a while. Just don't apply any vet courses because you get into trouble. You don't want to deal with a potential provider that goes busted, that goes into default and asking for refund. I don't think you get a refund back anyhow. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Why don't you leave your comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.